Hi, it's Alicia here from Zygote Brown Designs. Today we're building the Dragon Wings template. We have two sizes. We have the child size and then the adult size. The adult size is printed on a tabloid or A3 size paper, and the cords come down behind the spine and you can pull them up from the hip. And the child size is printed on A4 letter, and the cords are up the top here, which you pull down from up the top. That's the child size version. The reason I have the cords from up the top is that I'm concerned about choking around the neck, the amount of string that could get wrapped around a child's neck. So that's why I suggest that you have the cords up the top and see if you can maneuver them so they can just pull them down like that rather than from down the sides. To get started, we'll talk about materials. We'll talk about cardboard. I've got some cardboard here. This is the cardboard I'll be using today. It's quite thin. All of these sort of toy boxes and electrical appliance gadgets and that come in these sort of thin boxes with a coating on them. If you have a really thick cardboard, I think that it would actually make it really cumbersome and really thick with the fingers, and may not as work as well. So that's why I suggest using sort of 2 to 3 millimeters thick cardboard, like these boxes. And especially these boxes, because they've got this lining on it, it adds an extra stiffness to it, and no one will see this lining because with all the fingers and the layers, you can flip them over to face each other so that all that sort of lining can be hidden. So before I need to start cutting, I need to join up all my templates that need matching up. There's a lot of cutting in this template. I think putting it together is really easy. It's the cutting that takes quite a bit of time and patience. So I usually use a window, and I put one page up on the window, and then so that I can see through and marry up the cross with the lines, and then I tape it. So I'm going to go do that with all my templates. So I've trimmed around all the templates but the fingers, because I think we're going to try something different today. Instead of tacking them down, maybe put a light sort of sprinkle of what is it called, stick glue, so that it makes it easier to cut them out, because I find these, I actually don't like cutting these out. These are hard to cut out because it's just really fiddly. So there we go. Grab some blue tack. I'm just going to go and try to stick to the directions of the cardboard. However, it's not essential because we're layering and gluing the panels together. It should be strong enough. It's just a suggestion, because I'm definitely going to have the fingers probably going in the wrong direction. So, okay. I'm going to keep that one for the fingers. So yeah, so this one, my direction of the cardboard's going to be different. So instead of gluing it onto my nice side, I'm going to cut, I should do this on all of them, I'm going to cut it from the bad side. So I'm going to glue it down with a stick glue, but really lightly. Oh, okay. I'm hoping this makes it easier and that we can pull it off, because it gets really difficult to cut this one. Okay. Okay, pop that to the side. Let's see if we can get these guys to fit in. Okay, so with the backplate C, you will, if you're doing plain cardboard and you're not coating it, or you are using the material that you're not coating it with anything, this one you will see back and front. So when you cut it out, you'll see this part exposed, and then this flips down, so you'll see that side as well. So I'm going to use this cardboard, which is a scrap that has the same coating craft look on both sides. So I'll be putting it on here. Okay, we're back. I have cut out all the templates from the cardboard. There's a bit of messiness that I've done, but I know that I'll be able to cover it up. Okay, so and I've laid them all out. So first we'll start with the body. Pop this to the side. We need to attach the straps to the back plates. I'm using a ribbon, but you can use anything. An old stocking with this one, and I use some heading for this adult one. You'll need 2 strips of at least 1 meter in length. So I'm just going to cut that. You'll need to apply glue to the scored side of the back plate and then carefully place the end of the strap into the glue. Careful not to touch the glue when you're pressing it in. I always have my glue gun set to cool so that the glue doesn't get too hot. Then apply the glue to the rest of the hot plate, making sure not to glue over your strap slots. Place the other back plate on top with the scoring side facing inwards, making sure to make it all aligned. Sculpt your shoulders as it dries. Okay, taking the back plate C with the scoring side facing upwards, we're going to glue the plate down onto the other plates so that then the top of the fold down, that's the scale, and it'll attach the other scales up underneath here. Apply the glue, lining up and placing it down. I need to reinforce these strap slots and maybe trim the overhang edges. Okay, these indentations are for the shoulder arms of the wings to go into. We are now just threading the straps through the strap slots. I'm going to make sure I've got a clear run for the straps. I'm actually using this mini palette. What's that called? Display palette. I'm using this mini palette from my kids' clay play kit, but you could use any blunt knife. The emphasis is on blunt. Making sure the straps aren't twisted, I'm just going to push them through the slot here. Now we're making the wings. I'm just gluing the left wings together. I haven't yet hole punched the wings. I haven't yet hole punched the wing tips, so I'll just do that. Now I've got the back wing arms. I've just got to attach these onto the back. Make sure that this section is well glued down, because this is where it will catch when the wings are retracted. They'll just catch on here, so they won't go fully down. So this is where you need to make sure you've glued it down tight. So apply some glue and just give that. Make sure the arm is attached nicely down. If you need to clean up the edges, you can just give them a little bit of a trim. Now that we have the two wings put together, we don't put the front parts of the arms on till later. We now glue them onto the back plate in their little indentations. So we just apply some glue into that indentation and place the arms of the wings, well, they're really the shoulder blades, aren't they, onto the back. They should fit in there nicely. And then we're going to do the fingers. Now they're this gets a little complicated. Okay, so I've got my left and right sides and I've married them up. Oh, I haven't. Yeah, I have. There we go. I've married them up with their matching wings. So I'm just taking off remember we glued the wings down. We glued the template down onto the wing, onto the finger. We glued the paper template down to the cardboard to make it easier to cut, because it's such a fine pieces of cardboard to cut out. And basically you want those to marry up and meet in the middle. Now I haven't hole punched these either. I've just got them marked. Okay. Now you want to, this is the hard bit, or is it hard? I don't know. It's just like a mind twister. You want to have, we're going to put them in order. We start with the top, which is, we're doing the right. So right finger A, right finger B, right finger C, and then right finger D, E, say E twice, no, E, F, okay, and you'll see what that looks like in 2 seconds. So you can see the first top 3 are the ones that are facing the cardboard coating is facing downwards, and the bottom ones are the cardboard coating facing upwards, so the inner sides, and they will be glued together like that. I know it's a little complicated, but I'm hoping the diagrams on the manual can help you work it out. Anyway, then we're going to get our pin split and we're going to push it through in that order. No, I've been doing the left-hand side. It doesn't matter. It's still A, B, C, D, E, F. So this is the left-hand side, and you can tell because it should contour with the wing, should go inwards. We're coming from the back, and we're pushing the pin through to the front, and this is the front because that's where your body's facing outwards that way. And then we push open the pin. This is small, so I'm going to fold it in on itself. And then you get your front wing arm, and we glue it over the pin, which holds it down like that, and you want to get it in there. So it'll be going over the top of that, and you'll notice that there's no hole in this one because that's holding the pin in place. See how I've put a heap of glue? That's going to push down on the pin and keep it in place in there. There you go, I'll show you that. So you got all your fingers pinned there, coming through to the back, and then with the front arm holding it in place for it to swivel. Okay, next we're going to do the wing paper, the paper wings, the inter parts of the wings. Now, so I want to spread out, and you can see I've got the bottom 3 fingers spread out, and that is basically how I want it to look. I want it to have that spacing. So a gap here, and a gap there. And then I'm going to get my wrapping paper, which is, I actually don't need that much, but I'll just cut a section off. This is way bigger than I need. And I'm just going to place it over, and I'm going to cut a half circle out near the pivot joint so that it gives it a bit of space to move in that pivot for the arms, for the fingers to move around. Now, I've got that all spaced out nicely. I'm going to take that off. I don't need that. 2 seconds. And I'm going to get my glue stick, and I'm going to apply glue, make sure it's all in the right section, to the outer section of the wing that's protruding there. This glue stick's drying up, so it's not great. Wow, that's a lot of glue there. Glue there. Glue there. Wash this bench. Okay, I'm going to space them out again how I want them. So that's going to be the full wingspan up to the top one there. I'm going to get my wrapping paper again with the half circle, and I'm going to place it down and make sure the half circle goes just there. And then I'm going to press down on all those fingers where the glue was, like that. And then I'm going to come back with a glue stick and apply it to just the 3 fingers. You can sort of feel and see the indentation of those 3 fingers. I have got really bad glue here. It's really bad. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to get the remaining 3 fingers and bring them down to their matching fingers and place them over it, pressing them into the glue. Okay. Then I'm going to lightly trim it. Now, this, you have to be really gentle. You can kind of indent it like that, where you're going to trim it lightly with a blade or scissors. Trim down there along the top finger. Be really careful with the blade. And then, I think I'm going to use scissors. You can cut the shape of the wings that you'd like, remembering that you want to do the same on the other side. So I'm just doing a basic sort of curve. In between each finger. You could pencil out beforehand the shape that you want to do. I'm just winging it. If you had more space, you could use the knife on it. And there you go. You've got your wing shape. Now from here, I actually sort of fold it to give it a feel of how I want it to come down when it's unfolded. So I'm going to give it sort of a pre-fold guidance. That's how I want it to sit when it's so then when it opens up, and then it should guide back down to where you folded it. Done. Okay, now we're attaching the string to the top finger. Well, it's actually the elbow. If that's the arm, the shoulder, the fingers. Actually, no. Is it the elbow? I don't know. So we're going to attach it to this top of the wingtip for it to come down. Now I usually have a hole there, but I'm going to just glue it in between the 2 pieces of cardboard. I'm just using normal string. I think I said earlier, I recommend that we do a short string for children and just long enough for them to be able to pull it down on their shoulders, but not enough to go around their neck. But I'm going to do this as an adult one because it's a little bit more complicated, just to show you how to do the adult one. I have like a paper straw. You don't need to have much, just sort of like a thumbs or little finger length, well, my thumbs, little finger length, just enough to sort of sit in, nestle in behind the shoulder blade there. And I'm just going to glue that in there. And then I'm going to get the string. I'm just using white string so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm doing a waist height pull cord. Now I'm gluing it in. I'm making a little knot just so there isn't more for the glue to get a hold of, like that. And I'm just going to glue it in there, and so that the tip will come, it'll pull from there. So I'm just putting in a little bit of glue, but you can also put the hole and tie the hole through the hole punch. But I just wanted to show you another option as well. Careful, careful, careful of your fingers. Okay. And then you thread the other side through your straw. And then I have cut out the pull cords really badly with a hole in the middle. And you can either tie it to the pull cord, but I'm going to make a loop. I'm just going to make a little loop and glue it in, and then glue the other side to it so that the backing looks nice. Oh, I'm making a mess of it. Now I'm going to just glue it like there with a blob of glue. Blob of glue there, blob of glue there. Really careful of the hot glue, and place the top and squeeze it. Squeeze it down. And then I've got my pull cord, and so that it's actually too long, so that I can pull that up like that. Now the other step would be the scales. The cord is hidden behind the scales. The scales are easy. The hardest thing in this whole template is cutting everything out. Cutting everything is probably the most difficult part of this venture. There is a lot of cutting. So basically you start with scale 1. Now I'm just going to put them all in order because I've made them all not in order. And I can kind of see that it's not much variation, but it's really tallest to shortest. Let's have a look. Oh, that's not so close. There we go. There's not much of a difference, but that's from one scale to 1 to 7. You grab number 1 and just shape it. Then you grab, got to flip it over, number 2, and then you push in the sides. Coming from the back to the front, you push it through the hole, lift it up, open up your little wing side parts and flip it down. And that's your first one. And then do the same with the second. Fold in the sides, coming from the back to the front, lift it up, open up the wing, the sides, and flip it down. Again, Come from the back to the front, open up the sides, flip it down. This time the scales, because I have done them before in the dragon head, which is now missing from the mannequin's body. These scales are different because I've made it much more sort of shapely, so it goes out and then in. Then you just need to apply a bit of glue to this top scale here, hot glue, and attach it to the back plate's top scale there, just there. So you can still flip it up and down, but it sort of just holds it in place there. You can shape them if you want. You can glue them down if you want further, if they're sticking up or not. But that's basically it. So that's it, and that's how you put the dragon wings template together. I hope that was easy to follow. It's a really easy template. It's just a lot of cutting, and then it's a little bit mind twisting when you're trying to take the wings and the fingers down. But when it comes together, it just comes together so quickly, and I think it's really effective. So thank you so much for your support. I really hope that your costumes look amazing, and I look forward to seeing you post them and share them. Good luck. Thank you. See you later.